Okay, so I've gone in, I'm pretty dry now. I've gone in and just ghosted out a lot of things. I like them. Maybe I'll pull them back out, or maybe I won't. It's also a good time if you want to add in a few other elements, like I'm sure you may have seen this tissue paper before. It's my favorite tissue paper. I see it in a lot of people's work though, so I hate to use too much of it, but I do love using it. And that's all I can say about that, is I love using it. It's just a nice tissue. It adds a nice element, and I seem to be kind of working with the black theme here a little bit. So before I go too much further, I'm going to add a little bit of that back in, and it's not going to take much to hold it down because it's tissue paper. I'm going to line it up, get it down there, and that's the same tissue paper I already had happening here in this little piece. So why not? Why not add it in here? That down, smooth it down, rip it off, and there you go. So that's on there pretty good. Now I want to add in a little bit of color, and I'm big on finger painting, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the matte medium. New favorite color, Titan Green Pale. I love this color, and I just want a little tiny bit of it. I'm not even sure why or where. I like it though. I like the little softness that it adds. I'm going to add that in there. And I'm getting a little bit of a glare. I hope you're not. But it's making it hard for me to see where I'm going with this. And you want to be sure when you're using papers, come down into the paper. That's what changes your piece from looking like it's just a piece of collage art to making it look a little bit more like a fine art piece, finer art piece, even though we know it's a bit of a collage. Now, there's also things that if you don't want them to disappear, like I just disappeared a couple of little saving stamps there. You can always take hand sanitizer is what I use, and a Q-tip. You can see I'm using my hands a lot here. And just take a Q-tip and rub that back. You can even do this when it's dry. I kind of like to do it when it's wet so I can blend in what I want. And I think I'm liking where this is going. I want to go around my little circles here. I don't want to completely lose those, but I want to add a little color to them. And I think I'm kind of good with that for right now. Okay. Next, where is the lid to that? Okay, get rid of that guy. I also love this light ultramarine blue. So it might be a little corny, but I think I'm going to put that up in to represent a little bit of sky. Now, mind you, you don't have to use your fingers for this. You can easily be using a brush. that, blend it in, and that's a pretty transparent application I'm putting on. Okay. Let me just rub that out a little bit, because I just want a slight bit of blue. I don't want it to end up looking too, you know, too much like a little landscape. I'll put some in here. There. Okay, that's where we are so far. Now, where do I want to go with this? Now, I want to create this line going across. We'll come back to the dots and the birds in a minute. But let's, how do we want to create that? I'm kind of liking this stronger color here. What is this color? Oh, it's burnt sienna. Easy. But I think maybe that is not the color I want. I think maybe I do want something that's a little bit browner. So I'm going to kind of just work this in, because I got little touches of this color, so I kind of like it. If you want, you can go on and do your edges. Get a little bit of an application on there. That's something you can always go back and do later as well. Okay, now I think I want to go back and maybe pull out a couple of these black circles. And you have to be careful, because you know that's tissue paper under there. And it's not that dry. Yeah, I'm pulling up the tissue paper. That's okay. It all works. All right. Now where are we going? I think what I want to do is work on my little birds. Now, these little guys that I originally put in, I didn't need to do anything to them because I took my time and worked them in. But these guys I did on a darker background, so they're not looking quite so fresh. And I might want to add some color. To freshen them up a little bit. So that's the nice thing about using something that has a pattern. If you are one of those people that are afraid to draw or think you can't draw, you don't have to draw. It's already there for you. And let's see how this is going to work. I have a little bit of a, I think this is a turquoise and ultramarine blue. Gonna mix a little white with it. And I'm mixing a little glazing liquid with it because I don't want it to be too strong. I'm just going to do a little white. Okay, a little color there. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow. And I don't want so bright of a yellow, so I'm going to dull it down. I might even add a little touch of that. See what happens with that. Maybe a touch of that. That'll help dull it down. And I'm going to make their little breast. And kind of just rub it in there. And just kind of fill it in. Do it the way you want. You get to make up the bird however you want. Cute little bird. That's enough yellow to define him. Then I'm going to add the slightest bit of white. Let's hope this is not too white. Maybe I'm going to add just a touch of blue to that white to gray it out a little bit. Let's see. It's a little bit watery. There you go. I think that ought to do the trick. Yeah. Much better. Now they definitely look better. Now they stand out a little bit more. Now I want to bring in some brown. And I'm going to use raw umber, just a little bit of it, and again I'm using a small brush. And just, you know, hit a couple areas on them. To find his little beak. Doesn't take much because I'm really not looking for him to be perfect, either of them. I kind of like that. Now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to create my little trees, or maybe in this case there's only one little tree, but my brush is a little bit, I watered the paint down, it's a little loose. And I just kind of let the brush drag down. This guy can come here. What do we want this little guy to be on? I'm just going to let my branches come down to this line right here, to the horizontal line. Oops. Ooh, I almost put a big chunk of yellow on there. And that's kind of all I need. If you wanted to, you could add another branch over here just for balance. And maybe I want to bring that guy down. It's a forest scene, I guess. Okay, then I want to I'm going to pull a little bit of that up because I don't need it to be that strong. Okay, so we've got that going. I think I've created too much quiet space here, but I'll continue on just to see where it's going to take me. Now I'm taking this, the same raw umber, and I'm just putting it across, doing a freehand line across. And take some water and see if I can get that to drip. You see, I've got it on there. I'm just letting it drip down a little bit. I could also, if I could find my little spray bottle, I would hit my spray bottle on there and let it help drip. But that is nowhere to be seen. And you don't have to stick with just the browns. Maybe we want to bring, I don't know, it might be kind of wild, but maybe I want a little bit of that blue dropping down in there. Oh, I do kind of like that. Okay, I like where this is going. Again, I'm going to take another quick break and let it dry. I like that color down there. And I want to let that dry and see where to go next. So stay tuned.